Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. Halfway through the month now, and still no real activity as regards incomings at Arsenal. We've seen outgoings. Yesterday, of course, Mavropanos going out on loan, and we've seen loan moves with some of the young players, but nobody really coming in. And interesting reading yesterday that David Ornstein was saying, and we know Ornstein sometimes gets a bit of a hookup on some of the rumours. He was saying yesterday that he'd heard that possibly Arsenal will probably go after a couple of loan deals. Whether it's going to be loan deals or permanent deals, it does look like they're not going to be doing loads of business, probably a couple of signings. But yeah, it's still no real movement on it at the moment, but the rumours continue to fly out there. And the one that's around big time today is all about Franck Kessié. Now, Franck Kessié is a real physical, strong sort of defensive midfielder stroke box-to-box midfielder who plays for AC Milan. He's 23, Ivory Coast international as well. And he's a player that Arsenal have looked at before and shown a lot of interest in signing. And the rumours are today that Arsenal are interested in him again. Now, he's been more of a regular for Milan this season. He's been having a good season in a Milan team that has, quite frankly, been having a bit of a horrible time this year. But it looks like, according to what the rumours are saying, that Arsenal are sort of renewing their interest in him. I'm very interested in trying to either loan him or sign him. Now, I think a loan is very unlikely for Franck Kessié at the moment. The only way they'd be able to possibly get a deal like this done would be to buy him. His valuation is said to be around about 20 million, so not mega money, and he's still a good age. 23, and would be suited to Arsenal right now, because I did notice that when Lucas Torreira came off against Crystal Palace and Guendouzi came into that role, just doesn't seem to be the same. Torreira next to Xhaka, solid. Guendouzi next to Xhaka, not as solid. Guendouzi's a different type of player. He's not, he's like a deep line playmaker, but he's not what you call like a defensive midfielder. And maybe bringing in Franck Kessié would be the sort of player that would suit Mikel Arteta's style. You've heard him talk already about bringing in players that are going to help the balance of the team. So Franck Kessié would make sense. However, I really see it as highly unlikely that AC Milan, who are really struggling this season, would let Kessié go now in January. It's a possibility for the summer, but I just can't see it happening in January. But that rumour is flying around today. There's also the John Stones one that continues. We spoke about this one yesterday. John Stones, of course, 25 now, Man City. The rumours were yesterday, according to a few outlets based over here in the UK, were that his representatives are looking to make contact with Arsenal over a possible move this January. John Stones, the claims are that he's not very happy with the fact that he's not starting regularly for Manchester City. Many times he's behind Otamendi, and Fernandinho seemed to be ahead of him, even though they've been missing Aymeric Laporte, who incidentally is going to be coming back soon. So what does that do to John Stones' chances of first team football ahead of the Euros, which takes place this summer, of course? So those rumours have been flying around. Now, again, yesterday I was saying that I just can't see why Manchester City would want to get rid of him in January. And a lot of the talk coming out of City today is that they are not willing to sell John Stones, and that John Stones will not be going anywhere in January. But despite that, the rumours still persist, as do the one about Bruno Guimaraes. Now, Guimaraes of Atletico Paranaense, 22 years old, again, a defensive midfielder, and it does look like Arsenal are looking at this type of player. The president of Atletico Paranaense came out yesterday and he said that Arsenal were interested in buying him. But Benfica seem to be the club that are ahead of the game on this one. Had already put in a bid of around about £20 million plus. And the rumours are today that it looks like Benfica might be willing to make a deal with Benfica to get this one done. Arsenal is said only really interested in signing him in the summer. They've got a limited budget this January transfer window and don't want to outlay all of that on this player. The other sticking point on this player is that he's one of these players that has a third-party ownership. That means that he's owned partly by the club, but he's also owned by a group of investors. Now, this is something that is not allowed in the Premier League. You're not allowed to buy a player that is owned by a third party. Listen, there's ways around it. Many teams have got round it in the past, but it does present a sticking point on signing a player. And although Arsenal definitely interested in him, definitely would like to sign him, it's starting to look like he may end up in Benfica because they are willing to cough up the money and to try and bring him in this month. Now, where's Eddie Nketiah going to end up? Now, he's been linked with a load of clubs. I've, again, spoken about this extensively. The links with Sheffield Wednesday, Notts Forest, 2 Premier League clubs in Norwich and also Aston Villa. But it does look like he's going to be heading to Bristol City. And a bit of a gaffe yesterday on Arsenal's official website, where the eagle-eyed guys from AFC Stuff, the Twitter account, spotted that on the Arsenal's website, they had a picture of Eddie Nketiah with the word on loan and a Bristol City badge in the corner. This was quickly removed, but it does look like he's going to be heading to Bristol City. So looks like Eddie Nketiah will be heading down there. And listen, it'll be a good loan move for him, give him a chance to get more game time. Arteta did look at him since he's come back, but he still feels that Eddie needs more games. If that's where he heads up at Bristol City, good luck to Eddie Nketiah. Nathan Ake, interesting one. Now, again, Arsenal heavily linked to him. We've been linked with a lot of centre-backs. The favourites to sign Ake was said to be Chelsea. And this is because Chelsea, who sold him to Bournemouth for about £20 million in 2017, they had a buyback clause, which means that, that obviously they can buy him back and the buyback clause said they can buy him back for £40 million. However, the rumours coming out of Chelsea is that they're no longer interested in buying Ake and they're looking at other targets, which would seem to open up the door for a team like Arsenal. There's a whole host of teams interested in Nathan Ake. He's a quality player. And I think a player that if he's playing at a better club will be even better. Dutch international as well, really doing well there. The only sticking point on this one's going to be Bournemouth are going to want about £70 million for him, which is too much. Plus as well, I can't see Bournemouth selling him right now because Bournemouth are second from bottom at the moment. They're in a serious relegation battle. And a player like Nathan Ake, they need desperately to try and keep them from being relegated. What might be interesting is if Bournemouth did get relegated, what would his value be then? I mean, his value would drop right down. So it's a big decision for Bournemouth to make because if they drop down, into the Championship, Nathan Ake's not going to want to stay in the Championship. And his value, they won't be able to charge £70 million for him if he's down in the Championship. Maybe Arsenal might play the waiting game on this one. Wait to see, if Bournemouth, and I know this sounds horrible, but wait to see if Bournemouth do drop out of the league into the Championship and then try and make a bid for a Nathan Ake in the summer. But yeah, this is the wheeling and dealing that goes on in the transfer market. And finally, this one, we spoke about this one yesterday. This is the one, Thomas Lemar Lacazette swap. Still lots of outlets talking about this one today. That basically Atletico Madrid, if they can't get Edison Cavani, they will try and swap Thomas Lemar for Alexander Lacazette. There's said to be their representatives from Atletico Madrid. They're said to be in Paris today talking to PSG about Cavani and hoping that they can get that deal done. They haven't got a lot of money at the moment, Atletico Madrid. So this is why this sort of this swap deal is being suggested by, I think it's Marco who are talking about it. I think the chances of that happening in January are zero. I just cannot. Why would Arsenal swap Lacazette for Lamar? Lamar's not even having a good time of it at Atletico Madrid. Lacazette's absolutely vital right now to Arsenal. I think the chances of that happening are zero, but it doesn't stop the rumours from flying around today. So those are your rumours for today. Thank you for watching the show. Don't forget to check out all of our brilliant content on the channel, and we will be back tomorrow.